Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I ran across this Facebook post, or like some kind of post that some of my friends have been posting. I don't know where they got the Facebook post, but whatever. I decided to basically read from it and kind of give my own commentary on it. So it's basically called List of Things Blind People Do Not Appreciate. So it's a long list, and so just seemed kind of fun to do a video on it. So, note, some of these may apply to everybody else too. Number 1, being grabbed. If you want to offer your help to somebody, ask. Don't walk up and grab people, especially from behind. That should be obvious to everybody. Would you appreciate just being grabbed? Not really. You'd probably panic and think somebody was trying to kidnap you. Just, be a human being, say hello. Like I said in my other video, let me know you're not a serial killer, you're just a nice human trying to help me out, and we might talk about that. About the help, that is. But, grabbing me is not going to earn you any points, so stop it. Number 2, modified phrasing. Do not ask me if I've heard that movie. That will get you in huge trouble. Just talk like a human, okay? We do not say, I heard that TV show. We say, I watched that TV show, because that is how people speak, and you just sound weird when you say, I heard that. Or, I say, see you later. Do I go and tell somebody, hear you later, because I've never seen your face in my life? No, because it's weird. People don't talk like that, so just don't do it. You're not hurting my feelings if you use the words look and put my hand on something or whatever. We use sighted people words just as figures of speech, even though we all know that we cannot look. So just don't do that. Number 3, having things snatched out of your hands. This goes back to helping. If you want to help, ask. Don't just take something out of our hands. You'd think that would be obvious, but would you appreciate something being just snatched out of your hands? Probably not. No more explanation needed there. Number 4, distraction while guiding. If you are guiding someone, face front and pay attention. Don't look at your phone, don't turn backwards to talk to someone behind you, etc. You're not paying attention could get someone hurt. That should be another obvious one. If you're guiding someone, that person is probably depending on you to guide them and not being as careful with their cane because they're in a position where they need to be guided. So therefore, you're kind of in the driver's seat. You're literally driving them, even as you're walking. So you're in charge of them. So you have to pay attention to the floor, the, stuff they could bump into, things like that. Because we tend to kind of, I use my cane when someone's guiding me, but still, if you're being guided, you're being guided for a reason, because it's maybe not a safe area for us to walk or whatever. So don't be talking to people when you're supposed to be guiding me. There you go. Number 5, treating us like we're incapable. The assumption we can't do anything for ourselves is what is this? Treating us like we're incapable. The assumption we can't do anything for ourselves and always need to be watched is not appreciated. 6, don't move our stuff. We keep our stuff in a specific place for a reason, and if you move it, it messes with us. Yeah, that's annoying. And that should be another obvious one. Like, if I put it there, I expect it to be there when I get back. Unless you have a really specific reason for moving it, but otherwise you're just making our lives hard. And then you don't tell us that you move things. Number 7, moving furniture and such around just because. A lot of us use landmarks to navigate, and if you move those, it completely throws off our sense of direction. Yeah, really. It really does. When my mom decides that she wants to remove my room, she'll show me where everything is, but it's still an adjustment to look for things and not find them where they've always been. So I don't necessarily love it when she decides to do a makeover. Also, it throws me off when people move things around in their own homes, when I'm so used to a certain route. to get from point A to point B. Drives me nuts, but I mean, I can't exactly tell you what to do in your own home. But, just, yeah. If it's where you live, don't move the furniture all the time. Number 8, plastering our hands all over your face so we can see what you look like. That's just creepy. Yeah, I agree with the poster. That's just creepy, and it's also, post-COVID time, it's just gross. Sorry, but I don't want to accidentally find out how many zits you have on your face, and faces are just faces, and I don't know, oily, and just, I don't want to touch your face. That's weird. Do you want to touch mine? I've seen that in so many movies about blind people, and it's like, stop. We don't do that anymore. I don't care what you look like. No offense. I don't need to know that you have a big nose or anything. I have no desire to touch anyone's face, except maybe a baby's. You touch their little cheeks, and that's fun, but an adult's face, no thanks. Number 9, stay out of our personal space unless we tell you you can be in it. This goes back to grabbing. Number 10, don't snatch our cane and play with it like it's a toy. It's not, and those things aren't cheap. Yeah, they're not cheap. They're expensive. Also, don't call them a stick. Look, I actually personally could care less if you call my cane a stick. It's literally stick-shaped. Whatever. I know this is going to offend every blind person on the planet, but I truly don't care if you call it a stick. But other people do, so just don't do it. Number 11. Now, here's where it gets controversial. If you're religious, don't insist on praying for us and putting your hands all over our faces, even after we've told you no. That's rude and disrespectful of boundaries. I actually agree with this to a certain extent. Don't get me wrong. I can't stop you if you want to pray for me on your own personal time. Go for it. But I'm pretty happy with my life, so don't tell me about it, for one thing. And also, don't touch me while you do it. Do it in the privacy of your own home if you must. I am not going to, get offended if someone decides they want to pray for me. I think that's kind of nice, but it's a little awkward to be prayed over. That's just my personal opinion on prayer. I'm not as offended as other blind people over being prayed over. If you feel so inclined, great. Do it. Just do it away from me. Number 12. Don't talk to us like small children when we do really anything. Once again, this goes back to treating us like we're stupid. Yeah, there is so many people who just, I walk across a room. Family used to do this to me, but especially, the ones who just met me, the ones who recently came from Mexico and see me in my own environment for the first time, and they're like, good job, and oh, wow, she walks out the front door, yay! And then there are the waitresses in restaurants who are like, what would you like to drink, precious? In their little baby voices. Can you stop? Really? Can you stop? So, yeah, that's annoying, too. I actually got in trouble. I was in the children's choir with Braille Institute, and they used to take us to different places to sing. All the blind children would sing, and they would donate to Braille Institute, all these different organizations. And one of them, we used to go every year to the Pasadena Showcase House for the Arts, and they would give us this tour and everything. And after we sang, it was a whole thing. I enjoyed it. I loved singing as a kid, but I did not appreciate being paraded around the old people and expected to say hi and be cute blind girl, especially when they were making baby voices at me and calling me sugar plum and sweetie pie. Some of those forms of endearment horrify me. They're just weird. So yeah, I got in trouble because I made a face at this lady. Apparently she was a huge donor, and I offended her because she called me sugar plum, and I wrinkled my nose at her stop. And I got a timeout, which I have no regrets about making that face. So, there you go. I said it for the public to hear. Hope she's not watching. But yeah, people used to donate when they would hear us sing. There is nothing quite like hearing a bunch of blind children singing Was blind, but now I see. That definitely brought the money in. It's so funny. Like, now I realize what I'm singing, and I'm like, oh wow, no wonder these people cried when they saw us all singing in harmony. Anyway, number 13. If you feel the need to show us where our food is, use the clock to give directions. Do not stick our fingers in the middle of the ketchup. Actually, I personally don't care about that. I mean, I have a hard time with my knife and fork as it is. I've never mastered the art of cutting with a knife and fork, so I'm okay with you sticking my hand where things are, honestly. And I never really use the clock face, but I know a lot of blind people do, so I'm reading it. But yeah, a lot of times, I mean, my food kind of just goes in a bowl and gets mixed, and I eat it with a spoon. I actually recently just found out that spaghetti is actually supposed to be really long. For as long as I can remember, part of making spaghetti was tearing it into pieces and then putting it in the pot. I didn't know that you just put it there whole. Mom would always tear it so that I could eat it with the spoon. I never knew that you had to, that spaghetti was always long and skinny and you had to twirl it around with a fork until, adulthood. I always thought spaghetti was small. So, yeah, I never quite learned to eat like a civilized person should. I can use a fork, but I've never quite, and I can cut, I can chop vegetables, for a salad, cut with a knife, but I have never, even after many independent living skills programs, ever mastered the art of the knife and fork combo. And I probably never will at this point. Ever. I've just never been able to do it. I never understood the move. People have done it, have taught it to me hand over hand, and I've never gotten it. Anyway, number 14. Do not grab our hands and plaster them all over whatever you want to show us, unless that thing is in the vicinity of something we could get hurt on. You have vocal cords. Use them to tell us where it is. Yeah, it's kind of annoying to have your hand grabbed. So, and slammed on something, just tell us where it is. 15. If we're trying to practice our independent living skills, try backing off a little and letting us do it. This is not an exhaustive list, nor is it targeted toward anyone. Society in general is extremely misguided about how to effectively help us and communicate with us, and it's extremely obnoxious. Wow, I didn't see this part. I guess that's over. So yeah, I just thought I'd kind of read this post and kind of react to it as I read it, and sort of give my own commentary on my own experiences. So yeah, that is my video for today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!
Speech on. Stop recording video.